Hello again, YouTubers, on with SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel with our very first episode review video for season 11. Alright, so today is June 25th, the day I'm recording this, of course, and just yesterday, June 24th, the first set of episodes aired on Nickelodeon from season 11. So in this video we will be reviewing episode 217, Spot Returns, as well as the checkup. Alright, so I'm just gonna start Spot Returns, but before we get started on any of that, if you have yet to watch the episode, I highly recommend you that you go watch the episode first. If you want to check it off iTunes, I'll have a link to the season set that you can purchase the episode from in the description box below. Alright, so Spot Returns, basically, remember that episode, Plankton's pet from season 9? Yeah, so basically Spot is a recurring character in this video, Plankton's pet amoeba, and this time Plankton accidentally feeds Spot too much pet treats, alright, amoeba treats. So Spot gets pregnant and gives birth to lots of little amoeba puppies, of which at first Plankton tries to give away. Upon that plan failing, he realizes that he can use the new amoeba puppies to carry out a new diabolical plan to steal the Krabby Patty formula, right? So, and yeah, it actually works. He actually manages to retrieve the formula after using SpongeBob to train the puppies. So, I mean, we've seen a couple of episodes before where SpongeBob has been used either knowingly but innocently, or unknowingly, completely unknowingly, in order to achieve Plankton's goals, right? Remember in season 6 we had the episode Single Cell Anniversary, where basically it was Karen and Plankton's anniversary, and Karen had the Krabby Patty formula, of which she refused to give to Plankton after Plankton forgot the anniversary. So Plankton used SpongeBob as a tool to, win Karen's heart, alright, and get the formula. So in this same case here, Plankton uses SpongeBob to train the amoeba puppies to retrieve the formula and trap SpongeBob inside, right? So gives me the it makes me think of that episode Perfect Chemistry from season 7 as well. Anyways, so at the end of the day, SpongeBob manages to distract Plankton by knocking over Karen, who is in the process of rebooting, because yeah, she was rebooting due to cuteness overload. And at the end of the day, SpongeBob manages to make use of the amoeba pets to open up the cage and, of course, foil Plankton's plan. Now, firstly, this is the first. It's another one of those recurring episodes. Remember, in season 8 we had Bubble Buddy Returns, and that was pretty okay. It wasn't that amazing, but one thing I liked about that episode was the music. The Aloha Bikini Bottom. In this case, I actually thought that it was more well executed, and I really like the idea of trying to give the pets away. I mean, it doesn't feel like you only have like one start point, one process, and one ending. It's not so simple anymore, and that I really appreciated. So yeah, I was really not expecting what was going to happen, and of course, with any good SpongeBob episode, that's what you're looking for. We also had a couple of random scenes like Mrs. Puff, and yeah, it really brought a lot more character out of Plankton, and of course we see continuation of Plankton's behavior from what's that episode in season 10. I think it was Plankton Gets the Boot or something like that. Yeah, so the one where he gets thrown out from the Krusty Krab and he doesn't know how to act nicer. Gets thrown out of the chum bucket and doesn't know how to act nicer. So in general, I think Spot Returns is a generally well executed episode. It had some funny points. And of course, yeah, it was just nice seeing Spot again, Plankton's pet. But yeah, so I'll give A Spot Returns, the first episode of season 11 to air, of course, a 4 out of 5. Alright, so again, comment in the box below for your thoughts on the episode. I'm going to reiterate this at the end of the episode anyway, but yeah. And okay, so now we're going to move on to the checkup. So the checkup is basically takes place at the Krusty Krab, right? And SpongeBob, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs are undergoing a checkup under the authority of the BBB, Bikini Bottom Better Business Bureau. I almost thought that was the exact same thing as, from the season 8 episode Accidents Will Happen, where I'm pretty sure the Better Business Bureau has been mentioned before, but I'm trying to place that episodes. Either Accidents Will Happen or For Here or To Go. Both are from season 8. Yeah, but I could be wrong, and the B to the power of 5 is a new term. I have no idea, but yeah. And anyways, basically they Mr. Krabs is really freaked out by the checkup, so SpongeBob and Squidward trying to conduct the checkup on Mr. Krabs themselves when Mr. Krabs is not knowing. So they had Mr. Krabs go through a couple of ridiculous things like the free money inside box where he wanted to check how Mr. Krabs' pincers were, the SpongeBob throwing Mr. Krabs into a freezer to check his temperature, and even a massage to probably, I can't remember what was that. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of ridiculous tests, which was pretty darn hilarious. It's definitely more hilarious than Spot Returns, of course. And at the end of the day, SpongeBob also tries to help Mr. Krabs pass the tests because he failed every one of them, which I thought was a good thing because, instead of leaving Mr. Krabs in the lurch to suffer the horrors of the checkup at the end of the day, that kind of classic story that, the writers are trying to distance themselves from now. Basically, they tried to actually do something about it, but honestly they didn't really do much enough, because you see the whole episode is this way. It was pretty darn funny, but values wise I thought it was pretty crummy, because in two instances in this episode, the episode actually promotes cheating. Right, so the first part is to get the nurse not to check Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob first the part about SpongeBob telling the nurse that they'll conduct the tests themselves is not that problematic, is that Squid wanted to bribe the nurse to get her to leave, which was like, okay, I was not expecting that in SpongeBob. And of course, at the end of the day, we know that instead of Mr. Krabs being checked out, it was actually Larry the Lobster who took Mr. Krabs' place. And supposedly for some money, of which Mr. Krabs did not want to hand over at the end of the episode. So, and from that point of view, I thought that this episode was a pretty darn bad episode. Bad episode in terms of the stuff that they were teaching kids, So, yeah. But aside from that, I think it was really funny, and you should definitely watch it. I mean, there are a couple of random instances where we have some throwbacks. For instance, in the photo booth where SpongeBob and Squidward was supposed to take Mr. Krabs' X-rays, of which SpongeBob over-X-rayed Mr. Krabs. There are like portraits of different, olden characters or olden versions of characters included, but one portrait that stood out to me was SpongeBob's parents. So I'm glad that they actually put effort into the details, especially in these new episodes, and that's really, really cool. So kudos to the Nickelodeon team, alright, or at least the Nickelodeon animation team. So I'll give the checkup a 4 out of 5, but on the values part, I'll give it a 1 out of 5. Alright, so yeah, what are your thoughts on these 2 episodes? Comment in the box below. I mean, I'm really quite interested to see what you guys think. But yeah, these 2 episodes were really nice. I'm glad I was able to watch them, and certainly I don't know, it just feels better than the previous episodes from last week, which was Patrick's coupon and out of the picture. So with that is about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comment, etc. Keep her right here on SpongeBob 101. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye.